Ever been close to someone, but still feel far away? That's a situationship. It's confusing, intense, and emotionally draining. You crave connection, yet nothing is defined. This isn't just heartbreak, it's psychology. In this video, we'll explore why it feels so powerful, how it affects your mind, and ways to break free. Situationships feel intense because your brain is wired to seek clarity, but gets none. Without definition, the mind constantly replays conversations, texts, and moments, trying to make sense of them. This repetition creates emotional tension, like a song stuck on loop. The uncertainty tricks the brain into interpreting excitement as connection, and anxiety as attraction. You don't fall for the person as much as you fall for the possibility of them. Understanding this mechanism is the first step toward control. Recognizing that intensity comes from ambiguity, not love, helps you pause and see the situation clearly. Unpredictable affection fuels situationships. Some days they are warm, other days distant. This inconsistency activates the brain's dopamine system, the same system gambling machines exploit. You start scanning messages, timing, emojis, and tone, not because of insecurity, but to regain control in uncertainty. Your nervous system adapts to instability, and emotional highs become addictive. This cycle can make leaving feel nearly impossible. The key is to recognize that intensity doesn't equal emotional depth. Observing your own reactions helps separate emotional chemistry from manipulation. Awareness is your first defense against unconscious attachment. Attachment styles play a huge role. Often, one person is anxious, seeking closeness, while the other is avoidant, craving distance. This push-pull creates a loop of craving and withdrawal. The anxious partner interprets absence as danger and pursues harder. The avoidant partner feels overwhelmed and pulls away. Both feel misunderstood and emotionally drained. Situationships allow these patterns to repeat without resolution. They prevent growth, self-respect, and vulnerability. Recognizing your attachment style and understanding the other person's helps break the cycle. Emotional awareness is a tool to avoid being trapped in patterns that feel electrifying but leave you empty. Asking, "What are we?" can feel terrifying. Clarity forces reality to enter, and reality may not match your hope. Ambiguity protects the ego by letting you imagine the best version of someone. It softens pain but prolongs confusion. Avoiding this question trains the mind to accept crumbs, uncertainty, and inconsistent affection. Over time, self-betrayal begins. Your mental energy focuses on managing expectations instead of seeking truth. The solution is simple, but requires courage. Ask the question. Even if the answer hurts, clarity frees your mind and allows your emotions to recalibrate. Uncertainty is addictive, but honesty is healing. Situationships erode self-worth subtly. Without knowing where you stand, you tie your value to attention. If they text, you feel worthy. If they don't, you feel disposable. Over time, emotional anxiety replaces self-confidence. You tolerate inconsistency, accepting less than you deserve. This erodes boundaries and shifts focus from self-respect to preservation. Preventing this requires consciously checking in with yourself. Is this healthy for me? Build internal validation, not external dependence. Journaling feelings, discussing limits with trusted friends, and practicing self-respect can strengthen your emotional baseline. Awareness is the key to reclaiming self-worth in ambiguous relationships. Intensity often masquerades as intimacy. Late-night talks and vulnerability feel deep, but without reliability, it's exposure without safety. True emotional connection relies on consistency, predictability, and accountability. Situationships give you the thrill of connection without the guarantee of support. Confusing intensity with depth leads to attachment to chaos, not love. Recognizing the difference helps you evaluate connections realistically. Ask yourself, am I feeling cared for consistently, or just reacting to peaks of emotion? Understanding this distinction prevents the mind from mistaking excitement for emotional fulfillment, allowing you to seek connections that are both passionate and reliable. Leaving a situationship feels like withdrawal. The brain craves the familiar, even when it causes pain. There is no closure, no official start or end, so emotional attachment lingers. You may return repeatedly, chasing comfort in chaos. Awareness changes this. Naming the cycle, recognizing the triggers, and creating emotional distance helps retrain the brain. Journaling, meditation, or physical space can reduce dependency. Understanding that longing comes from habit, not love, empowers you to step away. True healing begins when you stop romanticizing intensity and start prioritizing emotional safety and self-respect. Freedom feels strange, but it's necessary. Digital dating culture fuels situationships. Social media and dating apps normalize half-commitment and options everywhere. The abundance of choice creates emotional scarcity. When everyone is replaceable, no one feels secure. This environment encourages ambiguity and fear of missing out. Recognizing the cultural influence helps separate external pressures from personal responsibility. Setting clear boundaries online, limiting exposure to ambiguity, and focusing on quality over quantity can prevent unconscious attachment. Protecting your emotional energy in a digital world requires conscious choices. Awareness of external triggers strengthens your ability to avoid situationships and prioritize meaningful connections. Situationships often end silently. One person withdraws, hoping the other notices, leaving unanswered questions. Silence amplifies confusion and pain. Closure doesn't always come from the other person. It comes from self-understanding. Reflecting on your emotional responses and accepting the end empowers you. Making conscious decisions, rather than reacting emotionally, helps break the cycle. Understanding that ambiguity is a choice, not a mystery, gives control back to you. Preventing future patterns involves identifying warning signs early and acting decisively. Emotional self-awareness is the bridge between dependency and healthy connection. The lesson of a situationship is clarity, not love. It teaches boundaries, self-respect, and emotional resilience. Understanding your triggers and patterns helps prevent repeating cycles. Peace comes from defined connections, not chaos. Stop mistaking intensity for depth. By prioritizing honesty, consistency, and mutual effort, you avoid emotional drain. Situationships are signals, not failures. They reveal what you need to grow before entering a healthy relationship. Choosing clarity over confusion transforms your emotional life. Once you honor your needs and boundaries, you naturally attract meaningful, committed connections. Ambiguity becomes unacceptable, and emotional peace becomes your standard.